And we are live. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from, everyone. My name is Jesse, and I'm with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. For those coming in for the first time, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And we are so excited this month of January because not only is it a new year and a new decade, but we are celebrating Epic Earth. We are highlighting amazing places, people, and creatures from around the globe. We've had sessions from all over, many, many countries already this week to start us off. And so we're so thrilled that you guys could join us. Right now, we've got 6 classes coming in live from across Canada and the US. So I'm going to give them a chance to say hi and do a bit of a shout out. We've got Fleetwood Bodden's grade 2, 3, 4s in Lethbridge in Alberta. Hi guys, welcome in. Hey, getting ready. Welcome in, guys. Awesome. We've got Miss Hooker's grade 3s in Mechanicsville in Virginia. Hi, guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome in. We've got Miss Richardson's grade 3s in Red Bluff in California. Hi, guys. Hey, I like the one kid who just comes in from the side. That was awesome. All right, we've got Miss Furnival's grade 4s in Guelph in Ontario. Hi, guys. Hey, welcome in. We've got Miss Boben's grade 1s in Kelowna in BC. Hi, guys.
Say hi. Hi.
Hi. Awesome. And last but not least, we've got Miss Zadrozny kindergartners in Bristol in Connecticut. Hi, guys.
Hey, start waving.
Hi, start waving. That's a good lesson for all of life. Just start waving. It's a good time. Of course, the reason you guys are all here is for our speaker. So we are joined live by Nicole. She is an educator at the Vancouver Aquarium in beautiful British Columbia in Stanley Park. So Vancouver Aquarium is part of OceanWise, this grand, fantastic ocean education organization that works coast to coast in Canada and internationally and beyond. And so today she is going to tell us a little bit about camouflage. How do animals blend in? How do they change color? All sorts of neat things about some creatures that are a little bit different from you and I. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us today, and take it away.
Hey everybody, nice to meet you all. I'm Nicole and I'm actually at the Vancouver Aquarium in British Columbia, Canada. So I'm going to share with you a map that you can see where actually I am now. So this is the map of Canada, and the red circle indicates where am I. I'm actually at the southern west part of Canada, and then actually we're at the Vancouver Aquarium with OceanWise. So OceanWise is an international organization which helps to promote ocean conservation, how to protect it, how to study the marine environment and animals inside, and try to know more about the ocean by telling people about that and try to study and learn more about it. So now we're in our aquarium, and we are actually at the background with a lot of different kind of animals. So you can see there's a huge animal up there. So it's our friendly sea turtle right here. It's called Skuna. And yeah, she's coming by. Say hi to it. Hi. Yeah, she is Skuna, and she was found in Alaska, and we managed to find her up there because it's really, really cold, and it might not be a very nice place for her to survive in such a very cold area. So we bring them back to aquarium. And the government said it is non-releasable. So we keep her here and let everybody to study and know more about the sea turtles. So this is one of the work that we have here in Vancouver Aquarium with OceanWise. And for the aquarium, we're actually on the traditional land of the Coast Salish people, including the Squamish, Musqueam, and also Tsleil-Waututh nations. And I'm very happy to share my knowledge here in this piece of land because we all share this piece of land and we all learn and to study animals together. Woo. So I'm very happy that you are here with us today, and we're going to talk about one of the things that I love the most about the ocean, that is camouflage. So camouflage helps animals on land and also in the ocean to blend into the environment. But what's so special about the camouflage, and why do animals have those special ability is the thing that scientists and all of us have to know in order to help the earth and also help to help those animals to survive. So I want you to ask a very quick question from you guys. So what kind of animals have camouflage? So I want you to think about for it for 10 seconds and Jess will help us to pick some of you to answer that questions.
Yeah, all right. So they're on the clock. Dun, 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 dun. How about we go to Miss Richardson's class to kick off? What are some animals that you guys think of for camouflage, that have camouflage in Miss Richardson's class?
Chameleons.
Chameleons, okay. I heard some snakes, heard some other stuff in there. How about you guys in Fleetwood Baden? What do you guys think of? Snowshoe hares, I like that. Okay, so they blend in with the snow. Very cool. And then one more. How about Miss Hooker's group? What do you guys think of camouflage? Octopus. Wow, we got some great answers, guys. Okay, octopus, snowshoe hares, chameleons. Nicole, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, you all guys are right. We have chameleon and also we have octopus who are really, really good at camouflage. So a fun fact for you guys is that octopus, they can change color and also change the texture of their body so that they looks kind of like rocks and also the environment surrounding them in order to protect them or to hide them from some predators and even to hide themselves to get more food. So this is why animals have camouflage and why it is very important, because different animals, they need to survive and adapt to the environment. So they have to protect themselves, or either they have to hide themselves in some areas so that they can find the food very easily as a predators. So I'm going to show you a very, very nice photo of a crab that I like the most in the aquarium. So can you see this crab? It's red color, and it's actually called a decorator crab right here. So this crab is very, very clever, because in these kind of habitat where a lot of corals, where a lot of different colors, and there are a lot of rocks near where it lives. So one of the things that they try to use is they try to use the crab to pick up some of the parts of corals or even algae and also anemones. They try to put it on the shell of that crab so that they can try to pretend part of the environment to hide themselves in, so to blend into the environment. So when other predators like fish or even bigger animals, they will not find this crab very easily. But not just only about the colors, and some of the animals actually, they use different kind of camouflage to hide themselves or to protect themselves as well. So I'm going to show you another kind of animals here. Oops, let me see. All right, so this is the shark, and if you take a look at the whole body, you can see two different kind of colors. So sharks actually use light in order to have camouflage on the body, so to hide themselves in a very open water area. So in pelagic areas, that is mean by there is only water nearby and this open, very open area, sharks actually have the ability to hide themselves using lights. So when you're looking at the shark, you will see the upper part of the shark is actually dark in color. And for the lower part of the sharks, it's just actually lighter in color, like white. So if you imagine you're actually a little fish, like the little fish on the left, if you need to swim along a very open area and you have to hide somewhere else, and that shark can actually protect and try to blend into the environment very, very nicely in order to trick that fish. So if you imagine your little fish, when you look up to the sky, and then you cannot find your predators, that is the shark swimming above you, because when the sunlight goes through the water, and the lower part of the shark actually looks like the color of the sky. So they kind of blend into the environment. So if you're a little fish, you cannot see the shark. But when you take a look at the bottom of the sea floor, you cannot see any sharks swimming underneath you as well, because these kind of sharks, they have a relatively black and darker skin tone on the body. So it kind of blends again into the environment. It looks like it's part of the ocean bottom, the sea floor. So the little fish yourself cannot see the sharks either. So same as dolphins, they make use of light. They have a darker color on the upper body, and then they have a very lighter color on the bottom of the body. So to blend themselves in the environment, to trick those prey in order to catch them in a very instant moment. So I'm going to show you a little piece of video, and you can see how sharks actually move. Right. So for, oops. Okay. So for the sharks, they actually try to use light in order to blend into the, and they kind of move very slowly. So when the fish, the prey is actually moving around, they cannot see sharks as the predators because they cannot see the light, the difference of the light and also the environment. So this is a very good example of how sharks can do camouflage in such a very open area. So my question to you is, can you think of any animals in the wild actually make good use of the light, and that kind of camouflage is actually called counter shading. So can you think of any animals that actually use counter shading in the wild so that to protect or hide themselves in the environment?
Yeah, so we've got the sharks and dolphins already that you've highlighted. And let's see if Miss Furnival's class, any animals that have like sort of one side that's one color and the bottom that's a different color? Anything that jumped to mind? What do you guys think? Oh. Miss Furnival's group, do you have any ideas?
Someone mentioned owls or
Owls?
I don't know.
Arctic foxes, owls, okay. How about Miss Baudouin's class? Any animals that are sort of different colors on both sides?
Penguins.
Penguins, okay. Excellent. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, penguins are actually doing counter shading for protect themselves. So if you are a penguin, when you swim inside the water, your upper part, darker body part is actually helping you to escape from seal, and as well as your bottom part of your body, which is lighter in color, you can actually escape from sharks as well. So isn't it great for animals like that, like sharks and also penguins, to have camouflage of counter shading here in the environment so that they can protect or hide themselves? So for the other animals, they do not use light, but rather that they try to make use of the shape of the body. So I'm going to share with you another picture which I like the most, and it is actually kind of animals that you can see in Vancouver, and also different part of the world near North America, the western side of America as well. So this is the pipefish that we usually see near the coastal area. So it is very elongated, and it's actually very short in size. If you look at your palm, it's actually the size of the length of your palm, and this is the size of the pinefish. And pinefish is actually a very good snack for some of the fish. So it's very important for them to protect themselves and hide themselves well in order to escape from the sight of the predators. So they kind of live in a very nice environment called eelgrass, look like this. So I want you to take a look at this video, and I want you to spot if you can see any of those pine fish. Try to take a look at it. And when you take a look at it, you will see the eelgrass is actually elongated as well. And some of the pipefish, they're very smart in hiding themselves. They try to swim vertically so that it actually looks like those pipefish. So it's very nice for us to really see those pipefish. They have body adaptation in order to survive and escape from the predators. And I'm going to share with you one very cute animals that is relatively new to science, because actually they are very smart in hiding themselves. So let me show it to you now. Wait a minute. And this is a very, very nice animals that I first learned here because I'm new to Vancouver. And the first animals that I learned from the Vancouver Aquarium is actually this little guy. Ooh. And this is very nice, and it's called a frogfish. So I'm going to play a video that I've taken here in the Vancouver Aquarium and let you see how it moves and how it actually blends into the environment. So the frogfish, they actually move very, very slow. And they try to move using their fins. And why it is called a frogfish? Because they are actually not good at swimming at all, but rather when they stay on rocks and also corals, they kind of look like a frog. So that's why scientists, when they first discovered it, they called it the frogfish. And it's very, very cute. And I'm going to show you, this is kind of the camouflage that the frogfish have. It's called a mimicry. So if you compare two photos here, the left-hand side is the frogfish that you can see in area like Malaysia, Indonesia, and also Australia. And then on the right side is an other kind of animals called sponge. So try to take a look at the appearance of the sponge and also the frogfish. So you will see for the frogfish, they have relatively rough surface on their body part, and then they kind of have like yellow color. For some other frogfish, they will have black color, or even they have a very hairy texture as well. But if you compare this little frogfish to the right, to the sponge, you think actually the texture and also for the color is actually kind of similar. And this is how mimicry works. So for the frogfish, they have a camouflage called mimicry that they try to pretend to be other animals so that they can hide themselves in and blend into and be part of that animals. And then when they try to find fish, they will move very, very slowly, just indicate in the video. And they will stay there and wait for their prey very, very patiently. And the prey is actually small fish. And when those small fish actually come by, the frogfish will move suddenly with their mouth wide open as double size of their body. And they will try to swallow the whole fish as a whole. And then they can eat very, very nicely and very, very quietly without having a very, very big trouble. So this is about a frogfish, and it is very, very amazing that actually for these kind of animals, they are a very, very good hide and seek player, because the scientists nowadays use a very, very long time in order to find this kind of fish. And the latest discovery is only in 2008 for a new kind of fish, frogfish. I'm going to show you a very nice photo that we found on internet that allowed us to share with you guys. And this is another kind of frogfish that I want you to take a look at too. Let's see. All right. So this is another frogfish. It's actually the same. They have a very similar activities or action with decorator crab, because they try to find different kind of materials. And it's just like an artist. They try to pick different nice materials and put it on the back of the body, so that they try to pretend some kind of seagrass or even anemones or even algae in order to survive in the environment. And because of those kind of decoration and then also different kind of slow moving actions that they have, they almost have no predators at all. So it is very useful for fish like this to survive in the environment. So remember, this is actually called the mimicry, and it's the best camouflage that I think we have in the environment. So we have different more kinds of camouflage or mechanism they have in the environment. So I want you really to think of what kind of animals do they have in the environment, and then what kind of adaptation do they have? What kind of defensive or protective mechanisms do they usually use in their daily life in order to survive in the environment, to escape from the prey, or even wait for food to eat? So it's my question for you to think. There's a one question for me, for you to think about it, is that, is there any special kind of camouflage that animals have that you would like to share with us that I haven't covered anything about that? Because sometimes learning is actually reciprocal. So I tell you something, and then you can tell me more about what you have learned and discovered during your learning progress as well. So I want to hear from you about your experience. And if you have any questions about camouflage and also ocean wise, and also even schooner at the back, you can feel free to ask me, and just let Jess know, and he will pick you up and ask questions.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. That was a fantastic presentation. And I know it's your first doing this solo personally, so that's so exciting. We're so happy to have you do that with us. Fantastic. So in addition to our 7 classes live, we've got a bunch watching on YouTube Live. So if you guys want to type in questions there, you've already been really active, please send them along, and I'll take as many as I can from YouTube as well. But let's get started with Fleetwood Bottom School in Lethbridge. If you guys want to kick us off with a question, come on up.
Want to ask a question? So stand up and come on over to the camera.
Yeah.
Here. Hey, what's your question?
Do normal rabbits change their fur to white
During winter
Yeah.
time?
That's a good question. So for the Arctic hare, they actually turn particularly white when it is more colder, because as you know, animals, they have camouflage. So for the Arctic hare, they try to change their fur from a relatively gray or brownish to more whiter in color in order to blend themselves into the Arctic environment. So as you know, for the Arctic environment is covered in ice and it's white in color. So it is very essential for those high in order to really blend into the environment to escape predators like polar bear. But there's a recent investigation and also research that actually for animals that living near warmer region, they try to get into the Arctic as well. So there will be food competition, and also it will cause harm to those hare, because despite they have those camouflage, it is a very new kind of problems that they are facing, because they have more predators to be hunted on. So this is something that Ocean Wise and also different kind of organizations are working on in order to save those animals.
Very cool. Fantastic, guys, to kick us off. All right, Miss Hooker's class, if you guys want to come up with one, go for it.
What is your favorite camouflage animal?
Ooh.
What's my favorite camouflage animals? This is a very nice question. So I'm going to show you a very nice photo that I love about Canada. So in Pacific Canada, we actually have animals called a spiny lumpsucker. So let me show it to you right now. All right. Give me a few seconds, because yeah, it's actually at the bottom of our PowerPoint. So wait a minute. Bear with me for a sec.
Oh, take your time. You're doing great.
Yeah. So this is the spiky lumpsucker. So if you take a look at the body part, the outer, the appearance of it, you'll see it's kind of spiny, and then also it kind of looks like a rock to us. And I have a video for you to take a look at too. Cool. So they do not move, and they actually very slow swimmer. Yeah, so this is the lumpsucker, and it's spiny, but the size of it is actually like a golf ball to us. And that is very, very spiny and looks like a rock to us. But it's very, very slow moving animals, and they have a suction cup at the bottom of the body. So they kind of like stick onto a rock and they do not move. And what they do is to open their mouth and wait for the prey, like little tiny phytoplankton or zooplankton, to get into the mouth, and then they can have those energy by just staying on that rock. So this is kind of a camouflage, and also the one of the animals that I like the most in terms of camouflage.
All right, excellent, guys. Let's head to Miss Richardson's class. If you guys have a question, go for it.
I do. I wanted to know if have you ever got to pet a snow rabbit?
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to really touch a snow hare, but I love take a look at their fur and also take a look at their the appearance of it, because they're very lovely, they're very fluffy, and yeah, I would like to see them one day. Maybe I can just try to look at the photo first. Personally, I would not choose to really go to the environment, to natural environment to visit it, because if we really go there with a very legit reason like research, we're actually harming the environment and try to destroy that habitat. And nowadays we have a very, very big problem right now. It's called habitat destruction. Not only the company that try to destroy the environment to build to have development over there, but also we have non-responsible visitors from all over the world to visit those cute animals. But that causes pressure to all the environment and also the ecosystem. So for me personally, I would love to learn more about the snow rabbit that you mentioned, but in a very gentle way, like searching online or even take a look at pictures, but not to disturb it in wild.
Yeah, excellent. I'm really glad we got that message in. And I love how excited people are about the Arctic hare, but I think we should call it the snow rabbit if it comes up again, because it's such a great name. All right. I wanted to pass along a question from a group on YouTube. So Miss Fromm's class, joining us 5th grades from Rochester, Minnesota, they wanted to ask, how does a chameleon change color? Or why does a chameleon change color?
So for chameleon, they have sensory cells on the skin, and when they try to move to different part of the trees, for example, like the branches, the sensory cell on the skin actually kind of have chemical reaction between it, and they try to change the color to match with the branches, or even a green color for the leaves, so that they can try to change the color immediately in order to cope with changing environment and to blend themselves in the environment as well. But for the detailed mechanism, I encourage you to really search online, because there are a lot of things going and processing during that instant change of color. So yeah, I encourage you to take a look at it for more information as well.
Yeah, I always like to highlight with chameleons too that a lot of people assume that most of their camouflage is to blend in with trees, and a lot of it is for emotion. So they'll do it if they spot a female or if they're angry with another male. So they get all puffed up and they turn black or red and deep, these amazing colors to actually highlight themselves rather than hide in. And that can be a form of camouflage as well. Excellent question, guys. All right, let's head to Miss Furnival's class. If you guys have a question, come on up.
The stingrays camouflage.
Whoa, that's a good question. So rather than answering your question, I would want every one of you to think about that, because we learned about counter shading. So I want you to think about it in 10 seconds. And maybe some of your friends from other classes can actually help you with that too. So Jess, can you help us to facilitate that?
Yeah, I sure can. So again, the question originally was do stingrays camouflage? And so we talked about counter shading earlier. How about we go back to Miss Richardson's class? What do you guys think about stingrays changing color? or camouflaging? Do you guys think they can or they can't? Yeah? Okay, so we've got them saying that they do. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, that's true. For some kind of stingray, they actually have both darker color on the upper body and then also lighter color at the bottom of their body as well. So we call it as counter shading. And for some relatives of the stingray, they actually have brownish and even yellowish color on the top of the body. So it kind of blends into the sandy environment as well. So despite of counter shading, they also have color conceal method in order to hide themselves in the environment too.
Excellent. All right, let's head to Miss Baudouin's class. You guys have a question? Go for it.
Well, this is Kelly.
Oh, so could Miss Baudouin just repeat that just a little louder, please?
She wants to know what is another sea animal that changes colors?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
For animals that change color, we have a lot of examples. So for example, for octopus that we have here in the aquarium, it's very cool. And usually is a very giant one. And usually if you see them near the glass, it's actually red in color. And it's very big. It's like if you stretch your arms a little bit, this big, is the length of that octopus can stretch. And for that octopus, when they try to go back to a little hole near the exhibit, or even if in the wild, they try to go to some rocks and even cracks in between rocks, they kind of try to change the color from red to brownish color, or even they have the ability to turn themselves into a relatively, I would say, greenish color, so that they try to blend into the environment. So for the octopus, they can try to do that. And for some animals, like cuttlefish, they have a very, very nice use of color to protect themselves, or even ask for find their mates as well. So this is a fun fact, extra fun fact for you. For the cuttlefish, they try to use their color on the body in order to attract females or other sex as well. So what they do is when they see predators, they will try to have a very distinguished color, like let's say black in color, in order to frighten off that predators. But at the same time, if they see those attractive cuttlefish, they will turn to another distinctive color like white in order to attract those animals. So despite of changing color for hiding themselves or protect themselves, they can actually use that color in order to attract counterparts and also different sex in order to have reproductions in the wild. So it's not only camouflage, but also have other function on it.
Very cool. I'm going to try and find a video of cuttlefish changing color for you guys when we're done, because it's the most remarkable color changing in the entire animal kingdom. It's really spectacular, beautiful to see. All right, Mrs. Drozdy's class, you're our last of our first round, and then we'll come back. Oh, she had to go. Okay. Let me take a question from YouTube then. So we have Miss Lee's class, again, grade 6 in Ottawa, Ontario. And Maddie wants to know, how do they make camouflage? How do creatures actually change their color? What do they do?
That's a very good question. So take cuttlefish as an example. If you try to, actually it's squid. So if you try to dissect open or try to take a look at the appearance of a squid, if you try to rub the skin very, very hard, you will see there's actually sensory cell on those outer part of the squid. They try to sense the light, the contrast of lights from different sources. So they try to make use of the sense they have or the stimuli they have. They try to change the color with different chemicals inside the body. So I encourage you to really take a look at it in detail, because it's very fun for us to really dissect or even take a look at the squid and also try to take a look at the whole picture of camouflage, because it's not only about the sensory cell on the body, but also from what they evolve over time. Because like sharks, they do not have those sensory cells for camouflage, but at times go by, they try to evolve from a very dull appearance into something that very distinguished and also very useful for them to do camouflage. So I encourage you to really look online and search for more information.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, let's do another round of questions with our live classes. So Fleetwood Bodden, if you guys want to come up for a second one, go for it.
Okay, Brooklyn, come on up. Remember your question? Okay.
What animal camouflages the best?
This is a question that everybody can think about it too. So for myself, as I mentioned before, I like the spiny lobster and then also the frogfish, because they make use of the color, they make use of the texture in order to do camouflage. So I like the color conceal mechanism, and then also I like the mimicry itself as well. So it's an open question for you all as well. So what kind of camouflage do you like the most for the environment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question we could go all day with, but within the next class, when I bring them up for a question, we'll ask first what they think of as the best camouflage or what they think of as their favorite thing. But great question, guys. All right, Miss Hooker's class. So yeah, lead off, Miss Hooker's class, with what animal you guys think when you think of the best camouflage, and then ask your question, okay? Come on up. What do you guys think of the best camouflage? What's the coolest looking camouflage to you guys?
Wow. I think an octopus.
An octopus? Yeah. When I think of camouflage, I think of octopus and cuttlefish. And again, we'll share some of those videos later, but that's a great answer, guys. All right, so what's your question?
What is the largest animal with camouflage?
The weirdest animal?
The largest.
Oh, the largest animal.
Ooh, that's a really cool question.
I think.
Yeah. So
Does the giant Pacific octopus camouflage, Nicole? Do you know?
yeah, they change color for sure. So
Okay.
for the largest animals, for the largest shark in the world, it's called a whale shark. And you can, if you take a look at the picture of the whale shark, you can see they have tiny spot on it as well. So it's kind of like a fingerprint for the human's fingerprint compared to whale shark. So different patterns actually is unique for each individual of the whale shark. And for those spots, it's actually helped with the way that they can hide themselves or even try to merge into the environment as well. So they kind of having different colors in order to help themselves to adapt to the environment. So I have a lot of examples for animals and for the camouflage. And then for the largest one, I have to dig into more details as well. But personally, I love how Skuna and also for the sharks, how they actually do camouflage. So for some of my friends actually love green sea turtle as well, because the color of the shell actually looks like a rock. So when they're actually crawling on the sand, it actually looks like a rock for human too. So I encourage you to really look to more examples and try to look for the largest animals and see how they adapt to the environment.
Yeah, excellent. So we've got big sharks, things like whale sharks that use the counter shading. We've got giant octopus that are as big as your classroom that can use actually change. Very, very cool. All right, let's head to Miss Richardson's class. If you guys have a question, go for it.
How do lions blend in with where they live?
How do lions? Yeah.
Oh, lions. So if you try to imagine how lion actually live and what kind of animal environment that actually lions live in, you will see there's actually like a very, very large open area with grass, yellowish grass, And also for that part of the area is actually with a little bit of tree as well. So I would call it a relatively open area over there. So actually for those lions, they will try to hide in to those grass, which the color of the grass is actually similar to the body as well. So they kind of hide themselves and try to prepare to hunt for animals as well. So for those lions, they try to hide in shady area with grass around it as well, too, so that they will try to hide as much as possible and try to hunt for animals as fast as they can spot it out too.
Yeah, big cats are really neat because they often blend into the habitats that they're in. So you'll see tigers with their shading that'll blend in with the grasses there. Snow leopards, just this Monday, we had a snow leopard researcher showing pictures of snow leopards 10 feet from the goat, and you can't see them at all. They basically blend in, you have to circle it with a thing. So big cats are really neat, and they use a lot of things in their habitat to do that. Fantastic. All right, a quick question from YouTube, and then we'll wrap up with our last three from live classes. So Miss Martin's class, joining us from West Kelowna, grade 2-3s, they wanted to ask, this might be a difficult question, but how many types of animals can camouflage, Nicole? Do we have a number of how many types of creatures in the world?
I don't have a number here, but
Yeah.
but definitely for different kind of animals, they have different adaptations to the environment. So a camouflage is only one of them to make them survive or to ensure their health and also their safety. And yeah, so it is a very broad question that we all have to use our curiosity to really search and explore about the ocean. Not only the ocean, but also the entire planet, because there's tons of animals out there, and it's very important for us to really learn about those. And aquarium is just one of the entry point for us to really learn about the environment. But most importantly is we try to explore by looking online, by talking to someone, and also to read more books. And also exchange information is very important so that everybody learns about the environment and also how animals adapt to the environment as well. So for us, there's a little kind of task work for us is to learn more about camouflage and also the environment around them.
Fantastic. And again, this is something that Oceanwise does better than anyone, encouraging you guys to go continue the learning when this is done. This is only a 45-minute session, but there's so many resources out there to keep the learning going, and they have some of the best in the world, so do check that out. All right, I want to take 3 more questions from our live classes, and then we'll actually 2 more questions from our live classes, and we'll wrap up. So Miss Furnival's class, go for it if you guys have another question. All right.
Can starfishes camouflage?
And starfishes camouflage.
Cool. Yeah. So for different kind of starfish, they have different appearance, right? So I would say take bat starfish here in aquarium as an example. They are relatively flat, and then they are actually brown, or even some of them are actually blue in color, but actually for them, they can blend into the environment. They just look like a rock, and even they hide themselves underneath the rock to escape from predators too. So I would say starfish, they have their camouflage and the way to protect themselves. So not only batfish, but we have some other very interesting starfish out there as well. So we have in the world, we have a kind of sea star called the chocolate sea star as well, chocolate chip sea stars. So I encourage you to really look into it and try to think of how they actually protect themselves and try to hide themselves in the environment.
Excellent. All right, and then we'll wrap up with one last question from Miss Baudouin's class. If you guys want to end us off, come on up.
Sorry.
Pardon?
And so again, could Miss Baudouin just repeat that?
Do whales camouflage?
Sorry, one more time.
Whales.
Can you repeat that again? The key word.
Do whales camouflage?
Whales, do whales camouflage? Sorry for the trouble, it's really weird audio.
Sorry about that. For whales, they definitely have the camouflage. So if you take a look at the pelagic area, that means the open water area, if you find a blue whale, their body color is actually blends into the overall color of the ocean as well. So it's actually blue in color. And for whales, different kind of whales, they will have the counter shading mechanism to protect them and to hide themselves from prey as well, so that they can have a very good catch later on. And for a very special kind of whale that is called a beluga whale, they're white in color. And when they are traveling or they're swimming along near the Arctic, their color actually blends into the ice in the Arctic as well. So this helps them to survive. So I hope this answered your question.
Yeah, fantastic, Nicole. Well, thank you so much for joining us in a really great presentation, great Q&A. Again, I'm going to pass those resources to all our classes later, so do check out education.ocean.org. Really amazing stuff. And as you guys know, what we do at the end of every session, I'm going to demute every class's microphone. And so boys and girls, if you guys could join me in saying a huge thank you to Nicole. You are all now demuted. Thank you so much, guys.
What do you say? Louder. Louder.
Thanks, guys, so much. We really appreciate you coming in for Epic Earth. We hope to have you back soon. And Nicole, thank you so much. That was really fantastic. Right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.